Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. Today, I'm going to be covering the Tier 5 Premium Destroyer, the Gremyashchy, for the Removed series. This is our second video, actually, for the Removed series. It was the top comment on yesterday's video where I featured T61. So I feel like, well, I'm just gonna do what the people voted for in a way. That doesn't mean we're gonna do it every day, the top comment. If you guys have any ideas, even if maybe it's not the top comment or whatever, I'll still cover it. The plan is, of course, to cover all the ships available. Now, one point of feedback from yesterday's video was people still prefer seeing the build at the start of the video. So I'll be showing you the build temporarily a bit here instead, even though we're in the game. So this is the build, by the way, if you want to pause the video and take a look at it. I'll still show it at the end of the game in detail. But this is the build that I have right now. Anyway, so in the Gremyashchy here. Now, Gremyashchy, it's the Tier 5 Soviet destroyer. Quite similar to something like Gremyashchy. I don't think they're the same class of ship. They look very similar in design, though. So we're going to have the 4 130mm main guns with 4.8 second reload here. We've got 8 kilometer torps that do 14.4k damage, but they only go 55 knots. We've got an 8% speed boost. We've got a normal smoke screen here and a DCP. So, yeah, pretty decent overall. Now, one of the main downsides we're going to be seeing this match with the Gremyashchy is the turret traverse. It's kind of awful, actually. And so when you're turning fully, your turrets will not keep up, unfortunately. So that's one of the main downsides you're going to be seeing with this ship. The upsides, though, is, well, you are kind of just an open water gunboat destroyer, but you do have the smoke availability. But you can play it open water if you want. That doesn't mean you should all the time, though, because some ships, if they hit you, they will do massive damage. For example, battleships with HE, and they can still hit you. It's not like you're indestructible or something. Just like any other destroyer, realistically. So you can kind of make use of the smoke and do pretty decently in it. Now, this ship was actually famous, I think, in-game originally because it had the stealth fire mechanic back then, in where it could actually shoot at the max range it had and actually be dark if nothing is in its bloom zone. But nowadays, of course, we don't have that, so every time you shoot and something's in your range, you're gonna be spotted. So one thing I want to mention is this is the matchmaking. Unfortunately, there are some bots. I'm surprised there are some bots today. I logged in to play with my friend Doyle, and apparently Tier 5 has bots. I didn't know that. Normally when I play Tier 5, I never seen bots before, so... But I asked around, and apparently, yes, you can get bots at Tier 5. At Tier 6, you can't. So unfortunately, we are going to be playing against some bots here. This match was at, I don't know what time. Probably 9 p.m. on a Saturday. I don't know. I'm surprised that there are bots. I never actually seen bots before. So I didn't know they could actually spawn at Tier 5. I know they could spawn at Tier 4, and we are in Tier 4 matchmaking, to be fair. But normally it would merge up Tier 5 with Tier 6, so you don't play against bots. But anyway, so we're shooting this MalteseKnight. This ship, now I've played the ship 4 times today, I think. I don't know. I did not have too much fun playing it. Now, some of you guys are going to be like, what the hell? But it's really strong and it's good. It's alright. It's pretty good. My stats are pretty good in it, that's for sure. Does that mean it's like super fun to play? It's not that much fun for me. For one, it's Tier 5, so how fun could a Tier 5 realistically be? But I actually had more fun playing the T61 yesterday. I thought the faster reload was nice to have. And of course, you have the higher HE penetration, so you can pen more things. But I don't know. It's not that much fun to play for me, this Gremyashchy thing. That doesn't mean it's bad, of course. It's still pretty decent. It has decent concealment. I think it's like 6.1 or something. And it also has those 8 kilometer torps for a Soviet destroyer, which is pretty good because usually you get the 4 kilometer or 5 kilometer torps. So having 8 kilometer torps is pretty nice. It's similar to something like, I guess, more similar to something like Anshan, but a tier lower, actually, funnily enough. But yeah, it is a good ship. That doesn't mean it's super fun to play for me, though. But anyway, we're just poking around. That's what you do. It's Tier 5 after all. You just poke around and just shoot. Try to aim for superstructures, if possible. Because I don't think you have... Let's check the main gun pen. Well, you have 22mm of armor penetration, which is actually enough to pen Tier 4 battleship nose and aft for most of them. Now, some of them are pretty hard to aim for those spots because they're a bit smaller. For example, namely October Revolution. Piotr Veliki is almost impossible to pen except superstructures. But for example, ships like Wyoming or New York, you can pen them almost everywhere, which is really nice because they have the 19mm armor, I think. But yeah, the Gremyashchy gunboat destroyer tier 5. You know, it's kind of just a video to cover, to be honest. You know, it was mentioned yesterday. But realistically, I'm kind of more excited to play the higher tier ships that have been removed. For example, like Smaland and Thunder and Alaska. We'll, of course, cover them in the future. And I'm sure you guys want to see those as well. But do let me know, of course, what ships you want to see covered in the future. So yeah, we found the Shenyang here, tier 4 destroyer. I mean, against tier 4s, you're kind of going to dominate. The nice thing about Gremyashchy is, even though it's a tier 5 destroyer, you can still kind of do pretty well in tier 6 or 7 matchmaking. Unfortunately, I've played it 4 times today. Not once did I get tier 7 matchmaking. I say unfortunately because at least I wouldn't have had bots to fight against. Every game I fought against bots because it was giving me good matchmaking. You could say it's good matchmaking because it's tier 4. So I wish, but I still kind of wish we fought those tier 7s because, you know, well, I could maybe feature it a bit better. I do have an older Gremyashchy review if you want to watch that as well. I have that available in the description of the video. But anyway. So there's a Shenyang poking at us here. We're trying to run at it. He doesn't really have torps that are going to kill me. So I can just run at it like this. Now, I was spotted running at him, but I wasn't really scared of taking too much damage because it is a tier 4 destroyer at the end of the day. So I shouldn't be really too scared of that. But, do you guys own Gremyashchy? Do you guys like it? I mean, clearly it's good. But, in terms of super fun to play, I mean, I'd rather, personally, guys, I'd rather just play Khabarovsk at tier 10. You know what I mean? With heal. Of course, not smoke, of course. But I'd rather just play the Khabarovsk instead of myself. But I guess I do like high tier a lot. We load some AP because he's full broadside. We have that Soviet 130mm armor piercing shells, which do pretty decent damage. But unfortunately, we're getting a lot of non-pens because it is a battleship at the end of the day. It is a bot, this one. The Shenyang was not a bot, but the Wyoming is a bot. The MalteseKnight is not a bot. Okay. But anyway, let's try to move into B. Now, I didn't cap C-cap, and the points are inverted, so they're actually winning right now. 420 points. They're actually 420 points. The points are still inverted on replays, unfortunately, like yesterday's video. So that's kind of the situation. I'm just trying to remind you guys so you don't get confused. We are currently losing the game. But the C-cap, I didn't really cap it. I guess I was more focusing on getting the Shenyang first. And now since we're here, it's whatever. Doyle here. By the way, Doyle, one of my friends, one of my longest time friends in WoW, actually. We used to play, actually won COTS together 5 years ago, actually. And we actually won Verizon together. I don't know if any of you remember the Verizon tournament. The first tournament ever for money. But yeah, me and Doyle were on the same team for that. Of course, 07, I'm sure you guys remember. Some of you guys might not remember if you're newer to the game. Well, if you started playing the game recently. But if you guys were watching my channel for a long time, then you'd know. So we see these torpedo planes on the minimap here. I was like, wait, are there 2 CVs? But it's not 2 CVs. The torpedo planes are landing right here. What does that mean? It means the CV is actually in this location. And this is where I get excited. I'm like, Doyle, there's a CV here. I'm going to go kill it. And Doyle dies, but at least trades 1 for 1. So we're going to try find the CV player right here. 45k damage so far. Not too big, but you don't need big damage at tier 5 to get good PR or anything. You kind of just have to get 50k and you'll be super unicum, guys. Isn't that crazy? But anyway, Langley right here. Citadel. Really good animation work, by the way, on its smokestacks. I'm not sure if you also noticed yesterday in Ranger's video. The smokestacks do like angle down when they get spotted, which is pretty fun. But we get this Langley full broadside. It's free, guys. We get another Citadel. But look, the torpedoes, we're going to end up hitting those and smashing him. We get a Death Strike, Brothers in Arms, and Strike Team. We also had another achievement, I think, General Offensive. Yes. We're up to 80k damage. So that's the Gremyashchy here. We'll see if we can squeeze some more damage here out of the game. One thing I want to mention, guys, of course, I always mention it every video, but For those of you who are not subscribed to the channel, I would greatly appreciate the subscription, guys. And thank you, of course, for those of you guys who have subscribed already. I appreciate it a lot. And like I said in yesterday's video, around 520 people actually now subscribed to the channel in the past month. So thank you so much for all the support, guys. I greatly appreciate it a lot. But anyway, so 81k damage. We're doing okay. Got a Celebes here. I don't know how you pronounce this. I asked the Dutch people in a previous video, actually. I think when I was playing Kalmar, if they know how to pronounce the Celebes. I'm not sure. Still, to this day, because they said I don't know. So if you guys know, and if any of you are Dutch, please do let me know in the comments below. I really am interested. So we tried to AP him a bit here, because we're on, like, he's full broadside. I'm not really hitting my shots too well. I'm not sure if I can actually Citadel a Celebes. But, I don't know. Now he's angling, so it doesn't really matter. That's pretty much the Gremyashchy, though. A gunboat destroyer tier 5. With very slow turret traverse. So it makes it a bit uncomfortable to play when you're turning. But as long as you keep your guns pointed to the same side of your ship the entire game almost, you're going to have a pretty good time overall. But that's the Gremyashchy. Let's see if we can squeeze maybe 1k more damage out of this Agincourt. I don't think we're going to be able to, unfortunately, though. We are still full HP. We didn't really play risky. And it was a bot game. But I think the ships we damaged was the Langley. I mean, we'll take a look after the game's done. I think most of them weren't bots, the actual ships we damaged. Except maybe the Phoenix. We ended up doing 86,509 damage, 167 shell hits, 3 torp hits, 2 kills, 6 fires, and 2 citadels. We got a dev strike, strike team, brothers in arms, and general offensive. Team score, we were playing, of course, with Doyle. He got 2nd place, and I got top of the team. It is tier 5 after all, and it was against a lot of bots, I guess. So, detailed report, though. We got 35k on the Langley, which was a real player. 4k on the Shenyang, which also was a real player. 18k on the MalteseKnight, which was a real player as well, funnily enough. So the 3 ships we killed were all real players. 11k on the Phoenix, which was a bot. Wyoming, 10k, which was a bot. And 3k on the Celebes and 2k on the Agincourt, both being real players. 34k from HE, 16k from AP, 11k from Fires, and of course 24k from Torps. There's not really much to say about the gameplay of the Gremyashchy. It's pretty much almost standard gunboat performance. Nothing really changes in real match, I guess. Here's the credits and XP. For my commander build on the Gremyashchy, we've got Preventative Maintenance, Last Stand, Survivability Expert, Concealment Expert, Fearless Brawler, Adrenaline Rush, Main Battery and AA Specialist, and Grease the Gears. You could actually take AFT instead of Fearless Brawler, or you could remove Concealment altogether and take AFT and Fearless Brawler, but I like having that 6.1 detection. Equipment, we've got the main battery mod 2, prop mod 1, or sorry, engine boost mod 1, and main armaments mod 1. One thing to keep in mind is that was our buff turret traverse with the commander build and the equipment there, and we still had a 27-second turret traverse time on our turrets, even though we're double built for turret traverse. For Exterior Camouflage on the Gremyashchy, we've got 2 permanent camouflages because we have the alternate colors. And this is what the normal one looks like here. I think it looks awesome. It's very simple in design, but it looks pretty cool. And then we've got the alternate, which makes it the mint green. Looks like a brown and black and white, which also looks actually pretty good on the Gremyashchy, but we'll be using the normal one for that. For my statistics in the Gremyashchy, we've got 71% win rate, 28 games played, 75k average. Pretty decent, actually. That's actually pretty high for a tier 5 destroyer. But as you can see, the most per battle isn't that high. It's 137. So you can't farm super damage in this ship, I think, overall. Now, you could get like a big game for sure, but it just feels like a bit... well, you're not going to get like 120k like in Kawa or something, or 130k or something. So it's a tier 5. You're going to have tier 5 damages to deal with. But that's pretty much the Gremyashchy, guys. It is decent, of course. It's a pretty good ship. Does that mean... well, of course, it's not available, unfortunately. But does that mean it's super fun to play? Personally, not for me, man. I think it's a good ship. quite strong, but not that much fun for me to play. I think the slow turret traverse makes it a bit uncomfortable to play, you can say. That doesn't mean it's bad, but it would make it a bit uncomfortable to play, so I'd rather play... Well, at tier 5, there's not much I'd rather play, guys. This is probably one of the destroyers, only destroyers I would ever play at tier 5. Now, there are some other ones, I think, that have been removed from the game. Well, namely Kamikaze, Fujin, and Kamikaze R. So if you want to see a video on those in the future, I can totally cover it, but those are completely different. These are torpedo boats. Gremyashchy is a gunboat. There's not really any other destroyer I would rather play over a Gremyashchy, though, in terms of gunboat for tier 5 myself that I can think of right now. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, a comment maybe, and a sub to the channel, because I would greatly appreciate it, and it helps me out a lot. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Big fan!